Hello there, everybody. This is me and Gerbil. This is about our 4th week doing this, but a quick disclaimer. We recorded this yesterday morning before all the chaos happened with Lightspeed bundles and everything else, so there was already a lot going on in the game. Now there's even more going on in the game, but here's me and Gerbil talking yesterday. Greetings and hello there, everybody. It is Nooch and the Gerbil. The Gerbil. How are things going today?
Hey, how's it going?
Today?
Well, it's going pretty good, and you?
I'm doing fine. You always get me up early, but it's, you know, the early bird is getting the worm, as we say, or something like that.
Yeah, but I think the worm is overrated. They can be a little squishy.
All right, dude. I'm gonna let you run this stuff. You've got the topics today, so what are we talking about first?
Oh man, so I guess the elephant in the room has got to be Conquest. I mean, everyone's just loving it, right?
I'm gonna open it up right now, and I will tell. I'm gonna play this. I'm on Sector 1. Am I in the right account? First of all, I didn't check that. So I'm on Sector 1. I was able to get through Gamma. I think I used Jedi Master Kenobi. I don't remember, and I got 1 star on it. And I don't. And I knew there was something wrong with it, but I wasn't thinking. It was before all the videos came out and everything. And then I'm on the Rancor now. I went into the Rancor last night at 70% with Kylo, and he got smoked. So I'm gonna run the Rancor here. I'll probably be like 85 or 90% with these teams, but let's go ahead. Let's talk.
So okay, what against Rancor? What lineup did you use?
I used the classic Kylo. It was just Kylo, Sith Trooper, Hux, KRU, and First Order Stormtrooper.
Okay, so a stock First Order team. Yeah, so I did beat it first time with Slicker, Hux, First Order Officer, and then I ran DACA and Zombie because, you know, Slicker will force the zombie to taunt. Every time it dies, it just starts taunting again, and luckily Rancor ate it like 3 times, and I got through, but it's a disaster overall. I mean, I really... I want to find the bright star, the bright rationale behind it and the reasoning, but I think that ultimately it comes down to a bit of psychology. That what I think CG is doing is they are increasing the difficulty level to force a bit of community engagement to share and find solutions, which sinks time into it, which gives people the sunk cost fallacy of, oh, I gotta keep going because I've already invested so much. And that worries me a little.
Yeah, Arnold said the same thing yesterday. He thought that they were doing this on purpose. And, yeah, I really hope that's not true. I mean, I really hope that this is a bug. But if it's not, that would kind of, that would kind of push us back in the direction of the pre-Grand Arena changes days when you had to spend a bunch of money in the game to succeed in Squad Arena. It kind of harkens back to that, where they're trying to force action. But I hope that's not true. I think that's a horrible decision if that's the decision somebody has made.
Yeah, I really I'm crossing my fingers. They did post on the forums today that I'm just going to go double check that, but I'm pretty sure they did say just a little while ago that they are going to have a make good for the Conquest. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it says, hello everyone. The team is investigating this issue with Conquest Hard and will be taking action to adjust it, aiming for the update tomorrow. So this was posted on October 3rd in the evening. And then it says, once the update is out and deemed fixed, because they've already posted one update that I'm not sure if it fixed anything, we will be sending a make good to players. So that's interesting. And this says, we apologize for the frustration this may have caused. Thank you for your patience while we sort it out. So I think, you know, at face value, that's a really nice gesture, and it's not excessively direct, but it's pretty direct. But of course, I think there are a couple issues in Conquest, and I'm not sure that just the difficulty level is the only one. My alt account, it could just sincerely be bad luck, but on my alt account, the first 3 data disk nodes all had the same data disks. And I was just like, where's the variety in here? And of course, it's like potency calibration. You know, it's like, okay, that's not going to help me.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was the case for me, but I do remember I'm underwhelmed by the data discs this time around. I mean, I've got loaded up right now. People can see, I'm running through the Rancor node here right now, but am I running through the Rancor node? I'm fighting the pigs, right? Do I get through the door and get to the Rancor?
Nope.
Is that how?
I think you ignore them at the Rancor.
I think I loaded up the Gamma section again. That's all right. We can do this because that's fun. So
well, that's a future topic. Silly mistakes we keep making.
I have a lot of those, my friend. So, I mean, that's good. So I pulled up the Capital Games communication while you were talking, and yeah, it sounds like it was a bug or it was intended and they realized bad decision.
Yeah.
Which, you know, honestly, I would agree that if you make a bad decision that you intended, and then you realize it's bad and you make amends, that's a good thing. I mean, that's a general positive. So I would not still tend to fault him for that. Although, yeah, you know, the idea of greed and really the idea of if it was an intentional decision, not learning from the past of the game and not understanding that people love this game so much more right now than they did in the past when they would pull those shenanigans. So many people that I talk to every day have come back to the game after being off for 2, 3, 4 years because they were just fed up with having to spend $1,000 on Revan and Malik to stay ahead. And now that's just not the case. It doesn't work that way, and they should not even think about going back to that ever because, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you know, I think like our community managers have been there for a while, like Meathead and Tusk. What is the other guy's name? Is it who was the other one? Meathead and anyway.
Crumb?
Sorry, Crumb. Right? Yeah. For some reason, I was trying to say Tusken Raider. I was like, no. But yeah, Crumb. You know, they've been there a while, but we really don't know anything about the leadership running the company and you know the executives who are making these decisions because surely it's not those gentlemen, the face that we see, right? So there could be changes in positions and power and corporate strategies and goals. But yeah, you're right that people I think are more passionate about it now than they used to be. But part of that also goes back to, like I said, the sunk cost. We've invested a lot more time in it and a lot more money and resources. And so, you know, when you play a game for a year and then somebody wrecks it, it's disappointing and you probably move on. But when you've played it for 4 or 5 years and have an expectation of another 4 or 5, and then someone makes that boneheaded decision, then man, that really stings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people feeling stung. But yeah, you're right. I think this admission that at least recognizing that it's not going well in the community mindset, I think that's good. I'm curious to see what that make good is, and if it's going to be scaled based on like energy you spent in the event, or if everybody's going to get the same thing.
Right.
I had an instinct today when I read this to immediately just go buy as many energies as I could with crystals, and just hoping I'd get it all back. But then like my more rational side kicked in and said, no, we need to wait. Just wait and see.
Yeah, don't try to predict the future on what you're gonna get, because that's gonna get buyer's remorse right there.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I love predictions, but this is not one of them to gamble on.
Yeah, so I hope it's just a bug where somebody dropped some code in that just impacted all the bosses. Because I'm going through Rancor right now, and I've got my zombie is gear 12, which may actually not be a bad thing if she keeps.
Oh, so was mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and DACA.
So my DACA's Relic. So.
Okay. So Slicker, mine was Relic 8, Officer, and Hux, I think, are both 5. And then DACA Zombie are 12.
Okay.
And I did get through it. I had 2 Amplify Agonies, 1 Volatile Accelerator, and I think that's it. I think those are the only data discs I had at the time. And I don't know if it has any meaningful impact on the bosses, though. Because they're percentage-based health effects.
Yeah, it sure doesn't seem like it is, but I'm at like 83%. I think Kylo's going to do this, but just because Zombie keeps reviving, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as like Zombie, like DACA doesn't die, what is it, 3 times or something, and then Zombie gets eaten, then I think you're fine. You should be able to get through it.
And with now, my Relic DACA has not died yet, and yeah, so that ain't gonna happen.
Power to you. I'm praying quietly for you.
I lied. She just died. Hang on. So, All right, so
Well, there's the power of my prayer. Good.
so what else
that
is
was
going
nice.
on? What that was the big news of the week, and kind of from yesterday. There was also the you mentioned before we started the news of the new ship. Yep, he's dead. Kylo's dead. 85% couldn't get through it.
Well, just real quick, I'm on Sector 2 on my main account. I'm at the final boss, which is Jabba, and Jabba has completely destroyed my Slicker, First Order Slicker with Zombie, Kenobi, my own Jabba mirror match, and Jedi Master Luke. I like nothing that has even gotten close.
Yeah.
The best I did was Slicker did manage to kill Chrysanthemum. Or somebody did, because he stood back up. And then I was like, whoa, I don't know what's going on. And maybe there's something in the kit. The Jabba team has Boba Fett as the 5th. So it's got the basic, Lando and Leia, Chrysanthemum, and Boba Fett. And I know Boba ignores taunt, but in my experiences, he's the only one that does. And yet, when I'm playing against that Jabba, the whole enemy team is ignoring both Kylo Ren Unmasked and Zombie, going straight for old Daka or straight for Hux. And I'm like, I can't.
Do they have resolve, or are they just ignoring taunt?
I don't know. I did not record it because I was like, this is just frustrating, and I'm hoping it's going to change. So I didn't record it, but I was just like, well, that didn't work. And it was interesting too, because okay, so your leader's in the middle. You get 3 characters in the front row. The one in the farthest back was the character that the AI was targeting the most. Just right off the bat, I noticed. I was like, oh, that's Daka. And then I changed it. I was like, oh, that's Hux. And then when it was Jedi Master Luke, I put Jolie in there, and they went right at Jolie. I was like, it's almost, it's targeting either that spot, or it's, I don't know, just targeting your support healers. So it was weird. But I'll let you know if I get past Sector 2.
Let me ask this. All right, I'm rolling for my Datacron that I just pulled open. Let's. We both agree Conquest is a disaster. So, but hopefully they'll fix it and give us the rewards. So, what's better?
Yeah, let's talk.
Whenever Darkside allies resist a debuff, they recover 2% health and protection. Or Darkside allies start the battle with protection up for 2 turns. I don't want any more light side. I got a gazillion light side Datacrons right now. Those are kind of
actually. I think it depends on your team, but I feel like I would go with the protection up, because dark side characters generally, I think, have lower tenacity. Like your Sith squads, they just seem to get debuffed, so they're not going to resist, right? It's when they resist that they would recover health and protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see many dark side characters resisting.
I'm with you. Oh, and I'm about to...
Yeah, Datacrons. That's another happy topic everyone loves.
I make Datacron videos and nobody watches them, so I don't really do it much anymore. And we talk about it all the time on streams and stuff, and I talk about the fact that the one of the big reasons I'm in Kyber 4 with 2 GLs and the Executor only is my incessant farming of Datacrons in Conquest, and I've got a lot of great Datacrons. And I play people that'll have 4 Galactic Legends and just a couple of, podunk Datacrons, and they kick it to my defense. And
yeah,
and I can enhance my offense, so it helps me a lot. By the way, I'm adding this Imperial Trooper one that adds 400% offense. Wow.
I think that's probably a winner.
Good God. Okay, that's going in. All right, so, yeah, but people don't watch. We're gonna make a video. Nobody watches it, so whatever.
Well, at the risk of alienating and people tuning off right now, what do you think about this Datacron set?
I got to be honest, man. I told you this before. I just started my 3 12-hour shift job, and now today's the first day I got off. The last 3 days, because all that came out in the last 4 or 5 days, and I just had not had a chance to really look at Arcane Visions closely enough.
Well, the name. That's a winner. I didn't know that.
I like this Imperial Trooper bit. At the start of their first turn, they gain offense equal to 400% of their current defense. I mean, I'm going to put a bunch of defense mods on my troopers, dude. I'm not, but,
Oh, yeah, because troopers are known for taking hits anyway, right? Well, I mean, if they're taking hits, it's game over.
If you can find a big, burly team that they get ahead of, it'll just be over. A team like they might not beat normally. And if they go first with a Veer's lead, then the thing's just over and you can forget about it.
There's two the two Datacrons I like the most in this set, and this of course speaks to who I am and my play style. But there's the Akbar one. Where is it? I'm looking for Akbar. There it is. Whenever another ally attacks out of turn, which in a team of 3 with the Omicron should be like everybody should be attacking literally every turn, right? So he uses a special and Leia assists, and then Han Solo, for example, assists. It says that Akbar and that ally gain 25% turn meter. So that's, if you also consider like Akbar's basic and Stormtrooper Han's basic, both have very high probabilities of gaining turn meter. Like literally each assist, they could gain 65, 70% turn meter each turn. So that's going to be incredibly fast. And then stacking with that, there's where's it?
There's Wedge. There's Saw.
Sorry?
There's Rolo.
Yeah, I don't really like most of those. I think in 3v3, Akbar, Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, with the Akbar, and then the level 6 that says, whenever a rebel ally start their turn with 2 or more buffs, gain 15% turn meter. So Leia's going to have buffs. Stormtrooper Han's going to have buffs. So they're going to gain turn meter on their basic. They're going to gain turn meter by the assisting out of turn. They're going to gain turn meter by having the buffs at the start of their turn. Like, I think this could almost, figuratively speaking, become an infinite turn meter loop. Literally, no, of course. But by assisting and starting their turn and assisting, they're just going to be like 90%, 90%, 90%.
Right.
And they're going to pull an Imperial Trooper maneuver. So that's going to be kind of scary to watch out for. Even if you don't have them, yourself, watch out for that. I wouldn't take that one for granted. Yeah.
I mean, these Imperial Trooper ones, I've got it open right now on the screen, and I was wrong. These came out on September 26th, so my excuse holds no water. I just haven't looked, so.
That's okay. You're forgiven.
I mean, the UFO stuff can help me with I've got my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren team in there. I'm not full of a lot of those guys. Ewoks is right up your alley. What about these Ewok stuff, man? You're the Galaxy of Heroes Ewok Meister, so what about these?
I am the Ewok, I don't know what you call it, the Indoor of Heroes player, I guess.
Sure. Yeah,
the Relic, the 2 I like for Ewoks is going to be Nisa's, obviously. And again, in 3v3, Nisa almost is going to feel a bit broken. I'm looking for, where is she? Princess Nisa. There she is.
Nisa.
So Ewoks have plus 10% off in stacking for each buff on them. Okay, that's decent. They do gain a lot of buffs. Nisa gains 2% critical damage stacking to a maximum of 100 whenever she attacks out of turn. Now that's literally every single turn.
Right.
So she's gonna hit 100% stacking critical damage fast, plus 10% stacking offense for each buff. But then, the first time each Ewok is defeated, they're revived to 100% health and 100% protection. And Nisa, already in 5v5, is timing people out. My GAC opponents, 2 of them messaged me this week and said, it timed out my Jedi Master Luke, and I've had that happen several times now. I think 4 times now I've had people tell me it's timed out their JMLs. And then somebody else was like, Oh, in Territory Wars, somebody messaged and said it destroyed their Malgus Sith Empire. I got 6 holds with them the other day. And so it's like, Nisa is remarkable. Just the longevity she adds, because every enemy turn, every Ewok recovers 5% health and 5% protection, and then other shenanigans. So you stack on that instant revive, and you put in like Elder in there in 5s. Mm-hmm. Even if you take out Elder, he's back, right? Take out Pablo Escobar, he's back, and then even if you get through him and revives.
You said that out loud right now.
Yeah, I did.
I have you said that before? I've watched most of your videos, and I don't remember hearing that.
No. Another famous YouTuber says Pablo Escobar.
Who's that?
And somebody in my I'm not naming names. Arnold. And then somebody else in my Discord pointed out, they said he should be saying Escobar. So I had to work that in somehow. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, I missed that one. All right. So anyway,
So I think
I'm rushing Leia on my hyperdrive account, and so when I get done with that, then I'm going straight to the Phoenix, because if I got Rex, I need the Phoenix and the Ewoks. That's what I'll be doing the first step after I get Leia done. And so yeah, if I can get that on there, I'll have time, because I'll get this done in the next month or so. I may have time to use this Nisa Omicron, but that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that one is great. And then there's a level 3 that works really, really good with that one. The level 3 Ewok, I'm trying to remember, because I started to make some notes about this and then got distracted. There's several of the Ewok ones you really want to avoid, actually. Ewoks, whenever they attack out of turn, they gain 2% offense, stacking to 100%. So Nisa, right, like anybody uses a special, Nisa attacks triple hits. The level 3 would give her 2% times 3, 6% offense, and then 6% critical damage each turn, basically.
Yeah, I think it's this. Whenever allies use a basic ability, they gain critical chance up, critical damage up, and offense up for 2 turns.
That's the one.
Yeah, so so they're always going to have that. So if you're stacking her offense up, and then you add another, 50% critical damage, or I don't know, and the offense is 50% offense, I know that. Yeah, it's just going to make her a monster.
Yeah, stacking offense 10% for each buff, and then they use that attack, they gain those 3 buffs. There's 30% more offense right off the bat. And then like Logray would give them like health up. Poplu, I think, gives them defense up. I think Chirpa gives them tenacity up.
Yeah.
So before you know it, they're going to possibly have 60, 70% on top of Nisa's 10%, on top of Chirpa's 20%. It's like, I'm just saying, watch out for Relic 9 Gerbil Ewoks.
And they're already beating Jedi Master Luke and Darth Malgus on AI. Although we should mention once again, caveat, you have them modded like to high heaven, right?
Yes, yeah. I always try to say in my Ewok videos, your mileage may vary, right? I have an excessive amount of piddling with Ewoks to find the right combinations and modding and everything. Like,
you just
anyway,
said,
let's stop talking about Ewoks.
Let's reflect. Gerbil just said, I have done an excessive amount of piddling with Ewoks. I don't know where I take that. Interspecies dating, or are we talking like piddling, like
okay, that might not have sounded the way I meant it,
Maybe that'll be the title of the video. Gerbil piddles with Ewoks.
Piddling with Ewoks.
I think that's a great title. I think I'm going to write that down.
Just plaster that. That's all you need on the thumbnail, in fact. Just piddle with Ewoks.
Piddling with Ewoks. We're doing that. I don't care. Even though I think every video we've done so far has had an Ewok type theme. That's just because you're here. But that's fine. I'm good with that. All right, go. What are we talking about?
I have no idea anymore.
We were looking at the Datacrons. So I think, for me, I don't really have Ewoks that I can use with that. My Ufu would be my Kylo Ren, my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. The Troopers is a team I love anyway. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to put that in there. And for me, my
Trooper
Rebels
Master
right now is just CLS. That's all that I've really got for Rebels.
Well, hang on, we'll come back to Ufus, but what do I do with my Scout Trooper? I just got her Relic 7, and I'm staring at her going, I don't know what to do with you.
I don't have a clue. They're trying to get this remnant team going, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Beskar Gideon coming out. So they're trying to put together a full... I can't, my brain just left me. But they're trying to put together a full remnant team, so maybe she's going to go there. But it's going to be tough to know. And so far, it doesn't seem like anything's going to be super duper overwhelming on that team. So that may be one that we kind of just wait and see. And I'll probably just let that linger out there for a while. And I'm not usually unlocking these new teams right off the bat anyway. So I guess we'll see. But I haven't really seen anything where anybody's super excited about Scout Trooper doing anything special on the team at the moment.
Oh well. Well, if you see something, make sure to share. Because I just got her, and I'm like, okay, now what?
Right.
It just felt very anticlimactic. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, if you don't really benefit the classic trooper team that's going right now and has been going for a couple years now or more than that.
Yeah.
Then there's nowhere to put you, or I can't stick on an Iden team, which I'm not sure was there any barrier to the Iden team, or was it just that nothing extra special on there? Let's pull her up.
Yeah. So I don't think, just while we're pulling her up, I don't think there's anything like right off the top of my mind that would prevent her, because I know that she gives Emperor's Trap, right? Like, is it Piet that does that?
Piet does that, yeah.
Yeah. And that was like one of the conditions. Like, there can't be anybody else who does that, I think. Let's see here. So I'm just jumping straight to the unique.
If the ally in the leader slot is Imperial Remnant, whenever an enemy begins their turn, and then again, that phrase is in there again, and that phrase is in there again. So basically, Scout Trooper wants the leader to be Imperial Remnant.
Yeah. So it looks like nothing would prevent you, perhaps. It's just not going to be optimal. You're going to lose out on a lot of the kit.
Right.
Oh, well. Okay, well, I'll set her on the bench for now, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, during her turn, she gives potency up for one turn, which could...
Oh!
That could, to everybody, Imperial Trooper allies gain potency up, so that could really impact, like, the Wampa counter to Iden, if you throw in an Iden team. Now, because still, Iden's going to use that stun the very first turn, and by the time she gets around to it again, Wampa's going to have, like, 400% tenacity.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll tell you, I am struggling with that feat in Conquest Sector 1. Gain potency up 600 gazillion times.
Well, there you go.
So that's good, actually. I mean, if you throw in 4 of them, maybe, and, like, Thrawn or Watt to do something to help speed her up even further. Take off all your data discs. Make sure you use all your energy on that so you don't kill the enemies.
Well,
and then hope to get 12 turns.
Well, and I wonder if... I don't wonder. That's why that's in there, because potency up is not a real prevalent thing. I'm trying to think. I can Google it here in a second, but...
So, I think it's either... I think it's Cassian that gives Rebel fighters at the start of the battle, but I don't know if there's another way. And then Fifth Brother gives the Inquisitors somehow. The problem is, with either of those two teams, I end up killing everyone, and I cap out at 5 or 6 potency ups. So I'm like, well, there's 10 battles. I have to do this 10 times at least, on top of 10 times of Old Republic, on top of, anyway, let's not go back to that.
I gotcha.
Let's not go back to that. Okay, all right. So back to the UFUs. So you must be excited then about the Where is it? Right there. Okay, so at the start of the battle, no. It says whenever an underlined force user uses the special ability on their turn, they gain repost for 2 turns. That's gonna be nasty. It's the last one on the list.
Now, what is now? Let's talk about riposte a little bit, because that's Dooku is the only one that has that right now.
Right.
And I wouldn't say that I'm a heavy Dooku user, so I'm aware of it. I know it's there. I know it's stealth.
You're a Dooku user.
Well, this is piddling with Ewoks and heavy Dooku use. I'm just saying. But okay, so riposte.
I believe it ignores protection, so you just flat out do all damage straight to their health.
He has 100% counter chance, and it doesn't really say... Okay. It doesn't say gains riposte there. I think it's on Master Makashi. There it is, okay. So, attacks out of turn ignore protection and can't be copied.
Attacks out of turn, okay.
What does can't be copied mean?
Like Yoda would just copy and paste it to everyone else on the team.
Oh, okay, right.
Or Fulcrum.
So attacks on a turn will ignore protection. So if you get riposte on, well, a Kylo Ren Unmasked just counters. Yep. Now, it's not a lot of damage, but, small incremental bits of damage over time. Let's look at the rest of these guys.
Oofus.
I
just recently figured out what that meant. I kept hearing people say UFO, and I was like, what are you talking about? What character is UFO?
Now, Kylo Ren gets counterattack when he uses his AoE. OG Kylo. right?
Ahsoka Tano or Fulcrum, doesn't she get retribution? No, she can copy retribution. Boom,
But
fifth brother.
I can see this.
Fifth brother
fifth
has
brother
100% counterattack.
Okay, I can see this where Kylo. You could turn him into. So what was the Datacron again? What did it say? They gain riposte. Okay, so if he's already got the counterattack and he's got riposte and he starts hitting people and ignoring protection on his basic when he counters, and every time he takes damage he stacks offense until he gets a turn. That basic could start doing a lot of damage over time if you make him really slow.
That could definitely add up.
So you might want to do a thing like, if you get that Datacron, maybe you mod Kylo just for straight tenacity, so he can't get stunned or dazed or as much as possible. Yeah. Whenever he takes damage, he gains 50% stacking and 15% offense for one turn. So if he just sits there and keeps taking damage and countering and ignoring protection, that could be real brutal.
Is there a way to give retribution to Rey? Because she's on a line 4 user.
Well, the only way I can think of is General Kenobi cleansing when she has no debuffs. That's the only way I can think of. Or, Yoda sharing it. That's it.
Yeah, now, okay, fifth brother, he has a 100% counter chance. I'm trying to find the condition on it. And his basic applies tenacity down. So if he's counterattacking, he's getting that tenacity down and then bypassing protection. Yep. But that's still not as sexy as... I'm not going to finish that sentence.
What? Piddling with Ewoks?
Nah, sexy as Kylo.
Oh.
Mr. Shirtless. Yeah.
We're
but yeah, I think that
this...
Repost one is going to be pretty scary, especially, I don't know Malicos's kit yet, but something in the back of my mind also says that he gets retribution. So I'm going to be a little bit nervous if I see that one.
Cool, man. Cool. What else we got going on?
Oh man, there's so much going on. We got a new ship today.
Yeah, you got the now that I have not really had a chance to look at closely just because I was working. So I'm gonna let you riff, and you had something you want to talk about, and I got a couple graphics to upload here too. Whenever you give me the go ahead.
Oh yeah, sure. So by the time this video hits the airwaves, I'm hoping to have already made another one. Just talking about my predictions of the next capital ship, 2024, wow, capital ship, and the 2025. I feel 95% confident with at least an 80% chance of error in there that the next capital ship is going to be the Resolute, with Gas obviously is the commander, admiral, pilot. What is the fleet leader? I don't know what the title for that is. But then the next year, 2025, will be the Invincible with Admiral Trench. And I've got a whole bunch of reasons into it, and I don't want to get into really. But today's release of the new ship, it is called the Marauder. And yes, if you are a Bad Batch loyalist, and I am not, you would be like, it's the Havoc Marauder. It is, but CG said that they've just decided to go with Marauder. So that's what we're doing. We're going to run with Marauder. Not to be confused with Sith Marauder, the other very important... No, Sith Assassin, right? Sith Assassin is on the Leviathan line.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Sith Marauder.
See, I'm already confused with Marauders. Yeah, too many Marauders.
That was the first thing I thought when I saw that was Sith Marauder. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's the Havoc Marauder, aka Marauder, but it's a Bad Batch support Galactic Republic clone trooper with 3 pilots. Welcome back to the days of Cassian's U-Wing and Ghost. So this is 100% a monetization opportunity. And I don't mind that. It keeps the game going, actually. But considering I'm at 10.2 million GP and my Bad Batch are still like 4 and 5 stars, I'm just like, it's kind of like my running meme with a lot of folks that I just ignore Bad Batch completely.
Yeah.
I may have to rethink that. But yeah, the ship is really cool looking. If you haven't seen the Bad Batch, it's like the Imperial shuttle, but a lot sleeker, right? A lot more aggressive looking.
I'm trying to get to the ship on the forums, and this is impossible because all I'm getting is Sith Marauder. I can't find it.
Here we go. Just sent you the link
All
in
right,
Discord.
thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a good looking ship. So the pilots are Hunter, Wrecker, and Tech. So we're gonna you do not need, you can still, if you're like me, you can still ignore Omega, and then who's the other one? Hunter, Tech, Echo.
Hunter,
But
Rekka.
Hunter, yeah, I've actually never seen Bad Batch. I guess I need to get around.
I've watched parts of it. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, so in addition to Marauder, the Endurance with Mace Windu is getting a rework. Did I say Mace Windu or Windu? I think I said Window.
I think you said Windu, and then you I don't know what you're saying. Anyway,
Anyway, so yeah, we're getting a Mace Windu Endurance update or rework. I mean, come on now. Last episode, at the end of it, we were speculating on who we think needs a retouch, and I don't know if you recall, one of the picks I said was Imperial Trooper, Super Trooper dude, and look what we got. We got a retouch that makes him one-shot most GLs, basically. So I'm really curious to see if Endurance's retouch is going to destroy Leviathan. We'll see. I don't think so.
So, I mean, I don't know. I still don't feel like there's enough I mean, they released one more Galactic Republic ship. Well, we still don't have enough ships for 2 fleets. But that's where you're going, right? And I've got your graphic up on the board right now.
Yeah, you got to tune into my video next.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's a couple of things that I think are being glossed over in Marauders and the Endurance retouch, rework, whatever. Like one of them, they actually say that where is it? There we go. Endurance will take Marauder as part of her fleet very well as be a home for some orphaned ships like Lando's Millennium Falcon and Ebon Hawk. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Now I haven't had time to review their kits and find how that actually synergizes. But what we know is CG historically releases a lot of things as a placeholder, right? Like if you remember when the first Inquisitor came out, it was like recommended to run it with Darth Revan or whatever. It was like it's just a placeholder. So I think that sentence there about Ebon Hawk and Lando is a bit of misdirection. And as you go through and you read the kit, they say that they highly recommend starting it with a full lineup of clone troopers. There's a bunch of callouts to clones in there, similar to like C-3PO, that it gives like healing or buffs, but the effects are doubled for clone troopers. So the Endurance rework, I think, actually looks really good, and I think it's going to make it a lot better on defense. Like if someone puts an Endurance on their early game, you can just destroy it on full auto with almost anything, right? I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And there was a couple things that I think specifically are not specifically, it's under the table, but it's kind of an anti-home one move in there, which is good for early game players. I think it gives them more variety, more options. So I think that what's going to happen is over the course of the next year, I think that we're going to get several Jedi ships, like a General Master or Grandmaster Yoda ship. I think we're going to get maybe Commander Ahsoka Tano's ship. I think we may also get some new Jedi Council from the Phantom Menace next year and possibly have a ship for them. And then I think what's going to happen is Endurance is going to be the home for the clones, save 1 or 2 maybe for Negotiator. And then the Resolute will be a Jedi ship, a Jedi fleet.
And I see here you got on your Resolute, you've already got a bunch of clone ships loaded up on the image.
Yeah.
You mind if I zoom in on that?
Yeah, be my guest.
Let's pull it open here a little bit. So you've got Yoda Starfighter, and you got Commander Ahsoka, probably her fighter from the show is what that is supposed to be.
Yep, Clone Wars, I think it was.
Yeah, and then what's the?
So that next one, the third one,
yeah,
that's a V-wing. The V-wing has another name. I'm trying to remember the full name of it. I can pull that up.
That's a Sith
actually.
ship, right?
No, it's actually it was a standard
Okay.
clone trooper fighter that
right.
was it was standard issue on the Resolute. They would have had a bunch of them. And then next guy, I'm trying to remember his name, something 10, that Jedi with the
C10, you talked about him last time. You told me about him.
I can never remember his name though. He just like always eludes me. So yeah, he was an accomplished pilot. And then you might even notice that's a Lego ship there in the picture because he was recently released as a Lego set. And another thing is that they just this week or this month released like an $800 giant Republic, how do you pronounce it? Venator class starship? I don't know. It's the same ship that the Resolute was.
Right.
And there really, really is a striking connection between Lego releases and capital gains. For example, last year in August, Lego released a Scythe. In October, we got the Scythe in game. This last year, Lego released Bosch Leia's helmet and Rex's helmet. Last year, we also got Bosch Leia, and now we got Captain Rex. There's an interesting parallel. They also just released a new Yoda starfighter. So there's another opportunity. So basically, like 3 or 4 of these ships have come out in the last couple years by Lego, last 2 years.
Gotcha.
Some of them as early as last week.
Right.
So
and you got Dooku and Asajj, but you're thinking that's 2025 kind of stuff, right?
Right. It's because I think that CG is on a dark light pattern right now with the capital ships. So we had Empire dark, Profundity light. So there's I'm trying to just remember Executor dark Empire, even though it runs Rebel bounty hunters, right? Then we got Profundity Rebel light side. So that's kind of opposite Empire Rebel. Then now we just got Sith/Sith Empire. So the counter to that would be Jedi. Happens to also be Galactic Republic. So the counter to that would be Dark Side Separatists.
You really have to go dark light, because you can't just leave us. You can't give us 3 dark side ships in a row, or because I'm thinking for territory battles, you've really got to have those options in there to do the different things. So, and it just makes sense. Then I could always see G pulling something crazy and giving us the Death Star itself. Like, we gave you the Executor with a cutscene. Well, how about having the whole thing? And then next year we just get Red 5. That's it. Just like, we shall see. Well, cool, man. Well, I'm gonna pull these graphics down and let you, because you're gonna talk more about this on your video. So go check out Gerbil's channel for more info on that.
Sure.
All right, sir. So what do we have next? And I kind of wonder about this endurance, like, if they're going to buff endurance. First of all, what's going to happen when they do it, and how are they going to have to rework it after it comes out because it's not working as intended? And then second of all, I don't know. They say it's home for other stuff. There is a home right now for the Even Hawk. It goes in the Executor lineup, and you prevent your team from getting target lock, and which matters, in a mirror match. So I don't know.
In a mirror match, it will make or break the match a lot of times.
Right. So I don't know. We'll see. There's not enough ships there, and I think it'd be unfortunate they made it better than Negotiator. Although Negotiator's been sitting there as the Galactic Republic capital ship for 6 years now, 5 years. So maybe it's time for something. Long time.
Yeah, I never actually played Negotiator because I skipped it. I just carried home 1 all the way through and then jumped straight into Executor. So
I'm not too familiar with it. I've never been a fan of Negotiator. Back in the day, Fleet Arena was just Negotiator mirror battles over and over and over again, and it was miserable. It was if you were going to climb Fleet Arena, and when they added crystals to it, it was all Negotiator. It was 4-minute battles, 4+ minute battles over and over and over, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Yeah. Leviathan is heading that way. I typically win in about 3.5 minutes if it drags out. If things go really well for me and they don't have the dagger on starting lineup, I can probably win in 1.5 minutes. But the dagger, just like cleansing all the debuffs, it's just it literally just slows it down. It's like, reset. Yeah, there's some neat things in here. Like the ultimate got a big boost. So the endurance used to say all allies gain protection up 150% for 2 turns, can't be prevented or dispelled, and gain retribution. Okay, that's cool. Now it says all allies gain defense up, offense up, and protection up for 3 turns instead of 2, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Call itself and all allies with Valor to assist, which will be all your clone troopers. All allies with Valor gain a bonus turn, home 1. Same as home 1, basically. After taking this bonus turn, that ally gains retribution for 2 turns. Yeah, so basically they're going to gain offense up, they're all going to assist, then they're all going to get an extra turn, and then they all have retribution. So that's a big improvement.
I get it, you know, and it's like, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm really bad with these kits, man. When I see it initially, you're trying to interpret these kits, because when it comes out, it almost always looks a little different or feels different than what everybody thought it was going to look like. So I'm
well, that's because it's working as not intended, right?
Right. All right, let's talk. So we actually had 5 topics to talk about. We didn't hit any of them because all this news with Conquest and Valor, and let's hit a couple of those because I don't think people want to hear us talk for 3 hours. But should people farm Imperial Super Commando? There's the question of the day. I know my answer. What's your answer?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my short answer.
What's your long answer?
Well, if you're a whale, go ahead and dump $1,000 into it. Enjoy it while you can, and expect a nerf in 3 weeks.
Right. And I kind of think, you know, you might be able to get by with it at Gear 11 or Gear 12 in the meantime if you got it. And it doesn't hurt your gauntlet at all. No. So maybe take it to Gear 11, Gear 12, and see what you can do against a few teams out there. But yeah, I agree. They're gonna nerf. There's no way they intended. And again, somebody said it in one of my chats or videos. I think that they believe that Capital Games uses, like, EA has a testing team and they'll send it over and say, "Hey, EA, test this," or whatever, and they'll test it. I don't know who's doing that testing, but did you not think to, like, check and make sure this thing doesn't blow away Galactic Legends? You know, nobody even like. Is that not on, you know, when you test something, you have a list and you check off the list, you know, test against CLS, test against this, test it on defense against CLS, you know, did they just not put Galactic Legends, or did they not put a Maul lead on there? Like, we're not going to put the Maul, we're not, I mean, just what are they even testing it with? I don't know what they're doing.
Okay, I got 2 theories on this one. So, in my heart, I am not a conspiracist person. Like, I hear people say stuff and I'm just like, you are nuts. And, you know, I move on. But I have a conspiracy theory with CG. One, I think it's possible. I'm not saying they are, but I think it's very possible they're doing this on purpose because it makes us talk about it, right? And as we talk about it, like in the case of Imperial Super Commando, this is a great accident to have because it's fun while you can. It's fun to go into your GAC and be like, oh, look what this accident did. I win because of it. And everyone makes videos and it's promotion, right? And then they can come back and nerf it later and everybody feels better because it's put it back in line with reality. So that's a conspiracy theory behind it. The other possibility, so theory number 2, is that, like you said, they're not properly testing it at all. And there is a part of me that wants to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are doing testing, but that there are so many variables between modding and gear levels and team compositions, and that what they have is a tiny testing crew or sampling of the population to test it. So you don't think that's the case?
I don't accept. So here's my thing. It's the game is making $6 to $7 million a month. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say the testing team is 2 guys in a room. The testing team assigned to this game is 2 guys in a room, and they spend 1 day a month testing. Or when something comes out, it's 1 day. I mean, you're talking about the expense of that. What?
Yeah.
$2,000?
Yeah. No.
A month?
Yeah. No, you're right. When you put it in that perspective, I mean, the hourly salary to test for just 8 hours.
So why, you know? Because if you could spend 1 day and you could just run all these battles in 1 day. You could literally test against every single team in 1 day. You could test it AI. You could test it playing with it. You could have like 3 or 4 different machines. If you want to test all the AI battles, you run it over here while you're playing it over. There's just so many different ways they could do it. So I think your marketing idea makes the most sense to me. Like they see it and they're like, it's close. Let's just launch it and then we'll let everybody talk about it. And which isn't, I guess that's not it's kind of political. I'm not a marketing guy. So I'm not much in that, it's like politics too with, you say something stupid just to get attention and then you pull back, and I'm not into that. But if that's what they're doing, I guess, it doesn't seem like the best way to do it to me.
I mean, there are those that say that any press is good press, right? And I don't subscribe to that.
No.
But that could be their plan because it is so consistent. Like I was just scrolling their dev announcement, and it is literally like, we're investigating a Jabba tier that's now broken. We're investigating Leia's unlocked tier 3 or 4 that's not working. We're investigating Conquest. Like every new character, every new event, every new iteration of anything seems to break something else.
It does seem consistent. You're right about that. The consistency of it makes a lot of sense. So yeah,
Well, if it is accidental, they're playing a game of whack-a-mole and the mole is beating them. I was reading a forum post about like, should you buy them a beer and tell them you support them like Crumb and people, or should you be angry? I'm just like, I can see both sides of it, but as someone who does spend in the game, it does anger me. Yeah, like being stuck like I am, like we both probably are in Conquest. I'm like, this will probably be the first time I have not bought the $10 pass.
And that should say something to them, right? Like, is it worth the, spending the couple $1,000s testing whatever thing you threw in there? That was an easy test. I mean, that should just be, if you put a change in to the bosses, and maybe it wasn't, maybe, they did some other change, and you know how coding goes. You change something over here in whatever in China, and it impacts something over here in America. So and it's entirely possible that happened, but there's just so much that goes wrong, and the testing, a simple little bit of testing could fix a lot of it. So
they miss a decimal here, some mundane detail.
Right.
I need to go watch that show again. I haven't seen that in forever. The Office Space, the movie.
Oh, Office Space, the movie. Yes,
Office
it's not
Space.
similar to the
movie,
Office. No, yes.
Oh yeah. I totally sympathize.
You put the decimal in the. It's no big deal. I think it's a big deal.
Not a mundane detail.
All right, so let's do one more thing here.
All right.
Something that we talked about was what is one thing dumb that you do repeatedly in game? And I've got mine, and my people have watched me do this. This is a dumb thing I do repeatedly in game, and every 2 or 3 months, I'll load up my Qui-Gon Omicron, and I'll just space out. And I'll space out the fact that Qui-Gon leads, his Omicron applies to Jedi, and Anakin's, AoE nuke, Anakin's nuke only works if it's all Galactic Republic on the team. So you need all Galactic Republic Jedi. And I literally, every 2 to 3 months, I'll go, okay, let's load it up. Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin, who do I got sitting around? Oh, there's 5s. Let's throw 5s on here. I'll just do it, and I get in the battle, and then like a minute and a half into the battle, and when I'm about to nuke, I'm like, I just loot, and I have done that many times. And the other thing I do is I keep forgetting to check for tenacity down when I throw Wampa in. Now it's not as recognized because it doesn't happen that often, and it's usually when I'm losing anyway, and I'm just throwing stuff out there let's check this for science. But it's a pretty easy science that if somebody on the other team has tenacity down, Wampa's not going to work, period. And those are the two. What about you? What are some dumb things you keep doing over and over?
Man. Well, beyond the obvious ones, like I'm playing around with mods, testing, and then totally forget to reattach them. And then I go into GAC and I'm just like, you're screwed, right? It's like, well, you can't, that mod is gone for a week, brother. Just accept it.
Done it
I do that all the time, and everyone tells me get hot utils, get hot utils. You can fix it like that, and I'm like, yeah, but that's even more money, right? I spend enough. I don't need to do that. But no, I think the one that I've recently discovered, because I just did it for the third time, it was in GAC. It's like, okay, my opponent's fleets, what do we want? Okay, they got an executor. I could destroy it with profundity, one shot, easy, or I could use my new shiny Leviathan. Let's see. Let's go with the Leviathan. And then I go in there, and executor starts with tenacity up. And like Leviathan wants all those debuffs. So I'm like, I'm not even paying attention, and I'm smashing buttons just out of habit of sequence what I know I need to do to beat a profundity or something, or a mirror match. And so I got my Sith Marauder who strafes, and the B-28 bomber strafes and lands no concussion mines. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Okay, well, we'll try this one. Fury. Eat that, shield disruption. No, it didn't happen again. Dang it. Tenacity up. So I've done that a few times and got some very low banner wins. Typically leaving the match like losing Fury, losing the Sith fighter, and I'm like, wow, this shiny toy is so much fun. So that's frustrating.
Yeah, you know, the mod thing you mentioned, I've done that, and since I'm the guy that's always railing on people on roster reviews for not having mods, when I do it and somebody notices, I get destroyed. I get destroyed in chat. So when I pull up there's a mod missing, and yeah, people just get on. So
we deserve it.
Yeah, well deserved. Well deserved.
Well deserved. Yeah, so I'm unlocking GLA right now. I've completed all the regs. I'm on tier 3 of her unlock event. So I watched Zareth, who I think has probably the most helpful video I've seen so far for the tier 2, where you're using just, I think it's Rolo and Captain Han, and he suggests modding for like 150+% tenacity, and I was like, well, let's experiment with this on my own and waste a whole bunch of GL tokens. And of course I did. That was another stupid thing, that learn to trust the people who have done this before, right? So I lost 3 or 4 battles experimenting. I was like, I'm gonna go straight offense. We're gonna kill them before they can debuff me. No, that didn't work. And then 3 or 4 days passed before I remembered to put those mods back in order. So I had a whole bunch of people like Nest without mods, and
very nice. Well, I mean, I trust Sarah, but that's your problem.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah.
All right, man. I think we'll have to get these other topics, unless there's anything that we have to get to right now before we move on.
No, I think we've covered everything there is except for global politics, and I don't want to touch that. Not tonight.
No, let's pass. Kind of like global politics, because we talked about getting all press is good press, right? So yeah. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, let's run with that. I was like, I'm in China. There is no press. Actually, that's not true. There's press, but it's
I was gonna say
lightly controlled.
I'm surprised So I have friends in Taiwan that are not as quite as forthcoming about talking over the internet, but maybe they've got a different situation down there. I don't know.
Well, I think times are changing a little bit. I'm not going to go on a long discussion, but there's actually a lot of tolerance these days to speak negatively about the government, as long as you're not advocating any change, I think, is the issue. It's okay to say you're unhappy. Or you don't like something. Just don't push for change.
All right, there we go. We're not getting into global politics. So, hey, that is our video for this week. I'm going to let Gerbil say goodbye, and then we'll wrap it up.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for being here. And as always, Nooch too good. And Gerbil too good.
All right, there we go. So let us know in the comments dumb mistakes that you always make. We'd like to hear about it for sure. If you got to this point of the video, that'll let us know that you watched the whole thing too. Go check out Gerbil's channel. We had a lot of fun today. Everybody have a great day. We will see you in a couple weeks. And always remember, as you just said, Nooch and Gerbil too good.
Too good.